The great Jackie Martling is here again, becoming one of the favorite guests. Every time he's on, I go up in Twitter because it's a story.
Well, I camp out.
Right.
You know, and you open the door and the door hits me on the head and I'm ready to come on, man.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And I got Jackie hooked on the 600-pound show.
You know, the guy invites me to come to his podcast and he always futzes around for 45 minutes. I'm sitting there. So Dan turns on this horrible show. You know, it's like a soap opera. My mother used to watch soap operas and I'd walk through the room and I'd say hello and I'd turn my head. And 3 minutes after I'm watching the soap opera, I'm saying, Mom, why is he talking to her? Is she dating that guy? Is he fucking her? You know?
Get hooked. Well, the first time I ever did heroin, I knew it was good because I got into a movie called Alex and Emma, and I didn't change the channel. It was with Luke Wilson and what's Goldie Hawn's daughter's name? Hudson.
Kate Hudson.
Kate Hudson. It was a romantic comedy with those two idiots, and I'm on the road in a hotel room, and the heroin was so good I didn't get up to change the movie, and by the end I'm like crying, going, "You can't." It's called Alex now. I go, Alex, you cannot talk to Emma like that. You can't.
So now people are either going to run out and buy heroin or run out and rent that movie.
I think they shouldn't do either. And I think I'm trying to figure out which is worse for society.
Listen, I want to say something right in the beginning because before we turn anybody off. Whenever I go on the show, my Twitter does go up a couple hundred.
Sure.
And I'm at Jackie Martling, and I tweet a bad joke every day at 4:20 at Jackie Martling.
It's fun to see what the joke's going to be.
And, you know, because they're taking jokes and making them fit into 140 characters is fun.
It's a skill.
And I'm on a roll, and I'm still going to wedge you, and somehow we're going to do a show together one fine day.
It's going to happen.
But this is fun. This is fun being here.
Yeah.
The view is beautiful, and the company's not bad.
Well, I said, you know, we do a cheap version of the view. This is the obstructed view.
It's perfect view of Manhattan, only if only the wall wasn't there. You know?
Well, listen, you got the Empire State Building over here is like, you can see. I'm telling you, if I ever sell this joint, I'm going to tell a realtor, look at the cruise ship schedules and find out when one's floating by, because every broad, when they see it, it's like, oh my God, how pretty. And one day morning, I was getting ready for the show. It was 5:30 in the morning when I used to be efficient. I got up, having a cup of coffee, and out of nowhere, the fucking Queen Mary 2 floats by. It was the scariest thing ever. It's like, it's like one of these black 600-pound people.
You know, well, right in the middle there, you could have a big painting of the skyline. So it's actually...
You see the fuck... Now you're going to ruin my real estate. Calm down. Look to your right. You see the Freedom Tower.
No, I love it.
Where are you getting that?
It's beautiful.
You look to your left, you see Dan.
I love it. Well...
If you shut the shades, this is a $50,000 condom.
It's unbelievable. You know, it's fun getting on the ferry. It's like, you know, this is an adventure coming.
Romantic. Because you have an apartment out in Manhattan. You keep a place.
Yeah.
As the rich folks say.
As the rich folks say, yes. I'm well kept by myself.
I was just watching. There was a guy named Michael D'Antonio who wrote a book about. He's one of these guys who hates Trump. Was always on Anderson Cooper, and this guy was alluding to Anderson Cooper's sexuality. But like this guy, I don't know. He was flimsy. I don't know what he is. But
he was teetering.
Right. He was. If you're in my neighborhood, if you're teetering, you've teetered.
Right. So you know what Mitchell Walters used to say? He's not gay. He's on the waiting list.
It's fantastic. That's fantastic. You know what? The whole generation thinks a joke like that is offensive. Go fuck yourself.
No,
I'm the one moving to fucking Spain.
Jesus.
Yeah, they have a better sense of humor in Mallorca. Which is what I call the fat people, Mallorcas.
Jesus.
And we're getting politically correct. But this guy, the voice he spoke, he was hitting on Anderson Cooper. He goes, Well, Anderson Cooper asked him a question. He goes, well, that's something you know about Anderson. Listen, I wrote this book, and he told me the figure he made for Celebrity Apprentice. And I said, wow, that's small. I said, that wasn't impressive to me, and I thought he was worth all these billions. And listen, Anderson, listen, there's a couple of things in that book that a guy like me and you, wink, wink, nod, nod. He said, wink, wink, nod, nod. And then he did the most...
When I hear a guy talking like that, I completely lose track of what he's talking about because I'm dancing to his voice.
I picture him, getting rammed. I'm sorry, but he's like, listen, Anderson, and he was making Anderson Cooper's getting uncomfortable. He goes, listen, I don't want to go long here, but let's discuss what he's doing with these businesses because it's not right. He had a real low voice, and we have to go, Michael. Listen, Anderson, I'm sorry, I don't want to stretch, but
I hope people out there take me serious.
Anderson, you're always someone that, for some reason, I DVR your show. I like Shepard Smith. There's a couple of people on the Bravo network I enjoy. But this has become a culture that's so unbelievably offensive. I was listening to Jackie at Martling and Artie Lang the other night. Holy Christ. 3 minutes in, there's gay this, gay that, black this, black that.
Fat this, fat that.
Fat this, fat that. And I'm not talking about fat with a PH, Anderson. I know you lost a lot of people in that fire, Anderson, who are squatting, as we'll say.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Okay, we have to go. Can I stay right here? Can I just sleep here?
I'll wait in the bathroom.
The Anderson Cooper pooper shooter scooper. The guy, one of the guys, it might have been that guy. He did something that was so hilariously insulting to Eric Trump, Donald Trump's middle son. He goes, there's a report that Trump is going to leave his business to his two of his sons, right? And that guy said something like, yeah, did you hear that, Anderson? He's going to leave it to two of his sons, Donald and there was a big and he goes, who else going to be, Barron?
Fredo.
He goes, yeah, no, right, exactly. He goes, Eric Trump is Fredo. He's Fredo. I mean, he goes, and in other words, the pause on and is the most insulting thing to Eric.
Oh, God.
The only other one it could be is Barron. He's 10. It was, yeah.
Narrowed it down.
Donald and it's like when Marv Albert would sarcastically have a surprise in his voice when a shitty Nick would score. I'll go, if I had to way over to yo, and Lee Wilkins gets on the scoreboard. Something else me and Jack were talking about. Every time, the people who don't know the history of the show, and of course you don't expect everybody, it's amazing how many people now are starting to tell me, my father loved you, I grew up listening to you. It's like time is floating away.
It really is floating away.
Yeah,
I'm waiting for somebody to come up and say, my grandfather talks about you. That's when I'm going to hang myself.
Listen, those are these people, because I grew up, I first heard you on Stern, I was 13 years old. So my teenage years you helped develop.
I'll take full credit.
Which is why I'm a winner. I don't think Anthony Weiner should be involved with this.
I know I didn't steer you that way.
No way.
I might have made you into a whore.
I told you this. Listen, let me tell you something. Jackie Martling, you better not call him Caleb. I do a bit. I go, you know what, you guys, you young people, you millennials, you can have Bruce Jenner. Take him. You can even have Bruce Hornsby. Someone says Caitlin Springsteen, you're going to hit with a bat. It ain't born to sashay.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it's like it's a difference in ideology. In other words, my father, again, it was a different time. He was mad. He actually thought people could be steered into being gay. That was the difference. He didn't realize you were born that way, right? And the scary thing about Pence is he thinks you can be cured of it, and it's like, all right,
that is so
it's stupid.
Ridiculously
it's just dumb.
frightening.
Yeah, and it's scary. I would be scared if I was a gay guy. You tell me Richard Simmons and James Caan were not born differently?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Those sperm came out and everybody flipped the coin. Right?
We could go this way or that way.
Wow.
They call me Clint Eastwood.
Now, speaking of which, and this is off topic,
Yeah.
I wonder if Richard Simmons watches this fat show of yours.
Well,
he used to bring 600 and 700-pound fatzos on the Stern show.
I gotta tell you something. Richard Simmons was the best guest because of people like you. Talk about political incorrectness. They finally found a word for fat jokes, fat shaming. The political correct assholes finally. Do you realize if it wasn't for fat shaming, Joan Rivers' daughter would be homeless right now?
Right,
because no one would know she's a celebrity because Joan Rivers would never have made it.
Right, she wouldn't have passed at the bitter end.
Right, she fat shamed Liz Taylor for 50 years.
The guy came on the show with a 650-pound guy.
Unbelievable.
And he's Howard sitting with Richard and this guy, and we had them
by the way, it's like,
lower a full turkey.
That's what I was going to say. This the funniest, the Channel 9 show, which, again, you're looking at one of the creators of it. Okay, it's so funny, but he would bring on these fat people, and 650 is like Callista Flockhart compared to what we have now.
And Richard Simmons would have cry his eyes out.
A fishing pole
with
a chicken on it. With a full chicken, hanging it over the fat people's heads. And Richard Simmons in those shorts. This is terrible.
Hey, one ball out.
Yeah, like he gave a shit. He's making money hand over fist with the fat cards and the poker. So now he can't make fat jokes. I'm a fat guy. I'm fine with it. I'm going to make fat jokes because it's like the N-word with black people. I'm fat. I'll say it. I'm going to make fat jokes. You can fat body judging, fat shaming, and Heidi Klum was talking about you shouldn't fat shame. Why doesn't she fuck me, Heidi Klum?
Yeah, right.
Why? Because in her head, what's she doing? Fat shaming.
She doesn't like your haircut.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Yeah, you think I'm not a funner date than Seal? You don't think I could be more fun than Seal at dinner? No. So what's left? Fat shaming. She's a cunt.
The bottom line is that people. Looks matter, and they do, and they always will. Vanity is always going to count. That's human nature.
Even the presidency is so aesthetic. Like Barack Obama, he's clearly a bright guy, but to me, as far as politics is concerned, the best thing he does for this country is he looks cool. He's a cool-looking guy. He's a rock star. He's got comedic timing. The rest of the country looks at him and goes, okay, we might have it together. Some people don't think that.
Well, I like him, but
there's one thing about him that people
he's eloquent and smart, and like him or hate him, he's a fucking president.
Yeah, exactly. It's the office.
He's not a buffoon.
He's not a buffoon. You got to be. And look, and Michelle Obama with those arms, you gonna fuck with her? She looks like Kevin McHale, posting up people.
She could beat him arm wrestling.
She could post up anybody in the paint. Just get it to her. And Obama, by the way, they're showing his biography. He was enormous as a kid. He was a big fat kid. Did you see him?
Is that true?
Yeah, he looked like Fat Albert.
Yeah.
He was a big fat
hefty.
black kid. He was Fat Albert. And his father, very white, by the way, very white.
Yes.
And he's a black president. He's half white guy.
What? Wait, no. His mom was white.
Whatever.
Wait,
they both had mustache.
Yeah.
Okay, but the one who was white was insanely white.
Yeah, his mom was white.
The politically correct way to say is a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
You know what I say? I say he won the mulatto. But again, the white people, we get forgotten in that. And glass half full, half empty. I've always been a president half white kind of guy. I'm a positive thinker.
Jesus.
Now that's wrong.
Yeah. Well, no one's listening but my cousins.
I have a whole theory about Trump. I could get myself in lots of trouble.
Go ahead. Well, go right ahead. No,
Trump with the women.
Yeah.
So he marries a woman off the boat that's not even that famous a model.
Right, who he meets at a mysterious party.
Right. Who's foreign.
Yeah.
Then he leaves her for this woman who wants to be in show business that he locks in Trump Tower like Cinderella.
Oh, he went right by the
and there's
Naples. Yeah.
all the articles in the Post. Best sex I ever had was Donald Trump.
Right.
And Carla Bernay, is that her name? Is
That's
stalking
right.
Donald Trump. And all these articles in the Post are put in the Post by his publicist.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's him.
Well, of course. Then
he leaves her and he goes with another
but
foreign model.
Right. But
now listen, here's the point of my story.
Right.
And listen, you're in show business.
Really?
You know musicians.
I'm on the couch with you and Dan.
You know musicians. Dan, you listen to
I don't really know them. You probably know more than I do.
But comedians and musicians and people in show business are the horniest people in the world.
Well,
all right?
because we got our dream and we want to fuck.
So our whole lives we've known every horny person, right?
Right.
All right. You heard Trump on the bus. Out of all the horny people I've known for 70 years, I don't know one guy that ever walked up to a girl at a party or a bar and grabbed her by the pussy.
Okay, well,
it's not a move that anybody would ever do.
You're not from Jersey.
I've seen that. I've seen it. A lot of baseball
We're
players.
not talking about your pussy. Right.
I mean, I
know, but here's the thing. Don't you think he was just saying that? I don't think he did it. I think he said it to Billy Bush. Don't you think he doesn't do it?
I don't think the guy.
But you're right.
I don't think he could talk to a chick and talk
phrase
to
that way. Phrase that. I never heard it phrased that way. Ever. Yeah.
And there's no such thing as I came on to her like a bitch. That's how a gay guy would pretend to be a womanizer.
True. He misused the word bitch.
I came on to
And then, first of all, who buys a chick furniture? Before you fuck him.
Yes,
and Carla Bruni probably had some nice ottomans.
And supposedly Carla Bernay, he put her up for a week in a hotel, and she had all her friends in, and they drank and ate, and he never came near her, and it was all on him.
Listen.
You know.
She's the French president's wife, right? The first lady of France. Clearly the
Remember the days when that mattered?
Well, that's what I'm saying. In France, they are not sexually hung up. You could run on the slogan, I want to grab a chick's pussy in France. And
How you say that?
And Italy, too. The Italian prime minister was a womanizer.
well,
young.
Dan is so effeminate. He hates listen, Dan hates strip clubs. I said, why? He goes, well, I feel sorry for them. They feel sorry for you, Dan.
I
don't like strip clubs.
Thank you.
You're 70. You like strip clubs?
A girl dances twice. By the third dance, she's whispering in your ear, I got 2 kids in college in Florida.
Yeah.
Well, blow me and they'll get a degree. Blow me, you'll have 1 kid in college.
Look my cock, and they got a
Well, no kid. The old scores had those nooks and crannies that I'm sure you designed. But my favorite scores moment, I'm getting blown by a 23-year-old stripper from Tampa who had kids, the whole thing. And they don't talk about their kids when they're blowing you. They can't. No.
He's going to school now.
Rushmore, I have a kid. And hi, this is Anderson Cooper's friend.
Stupid.
Can I blow you next? So Arturo Gatti, the boxer, accidentally walks in the nook and cranny and finds us, and he goes, "Oh, sorry." 4 years later, I'm at another strip club in Jersey. I haven't seen him since. I'm a fan. He comes up to me. He goes, "Hey, Artie, I'm sorry about that." 4 years ago, I go, "You remember? You remember that?"
I thought you were saying walked in on you again. That would have been beautiful. That would have been beautiful.
It was the Anderson Cooper guy was blowing me. Listen, Arturo, this is 2 times now. I can't stop doing that guy's voice. But yeah, so again, Dan doesn't like strip clubs because, the reason every gay guy doesn't like him. He feels sorry for the girl.
No, you know what? I'm with him. I mean,
You're not with him.
It's not because you feel sorry for the girl. I don't want to pay somebody to rub against me. I want to talk to a chick at a bar and try and get her to come
what are you
out in
doing
the car.
What are you doing at the bar? You're indirectly paying her. You're giving the bartender.
Oh yeah, no, it's exactly the same thing, but there's a little bit more sport.
Yes, there's more.
Do you
sport.
want to hunt a rabbit that's in a cage, or do you want to let him run around a little bit?
As long as the rabbit's fucking me, I don't care.
You really don't, do you?
I don't know. Again, the fact that we became a little bit of a name in show business. You can't trust a chick. I mean, if a chick is fucking me because I'm in show business, what happens with Bruce Willis? It's like, what happens?
Yeah,
if a
you
chick
definitely leave the planet.
Yeah, you do. You do. They don't have. They're not reality. So I got a chick who's fucking me because I'm headlining Yuck Yucks.
Yeah. Girl who likes you for you.
Yeah, how come that didn't happen? My first girlfriend in show business in L.A., she goes, "Oh, you're always my type, that Tom Arnold line." And I said, "Really? In high school, you had a poster of a manatee?"
Jesus.
Instead of the guy from, Married with Children. But Dan's being very quiet. Are we being offensive?
No.
You put your head down.
Well, listen. I can't stay because.
Where are you going?
I promised that I'd help work on Stuttering John's political.
Well, leave now. Okay, we have to talk about our friends.
I walk in here. The 2 things that Danny Filato does is puts a fatso on the television and hands me the announcement that Stuttering John's running for president.
Okay,
I'm like, holy Christ!
Here we go. You ready?
Now, he's living for you to give him this kind of publicity.
Well, I know. Well, he's going to get it.
Which is fine.
He's going to get it. John Melendez Twitter, which, by the way, has 14 people. Any Californian knows we need change.
Spare change.
Hey, wait. Every New Yorker knows I need change.
Jesus.
Holy shit, that's funny. All right, I'm sorry. Well, I hate doing that to a guy who's always nice to people. And not from a rich politician, but from a poor, whatever he is. Not from a rich politician, but instead from someone who knows what they're going through. Vote John. All right.
I saw a bumper sticker of him today. It said, vote for me.
Well, he started now for 4 years to say vote John. By the way, you ready? 5 retweets.
Wow.
Lighting up Twitter. and 24 likes. Frankie in New York City, the first tweet back. You ready? You are a gift that keeps on giving, John. It's there, THYRE, not THEIR. You complete idiot. The campaign is scorching.
And he spelled the woman's name in
Diane
California.
Feinstein, yeah. Who we all know did a great job, according to John. And he misspelled her first and last name. By the way, I'd read the second tweet, but there isn't one.
He tweeted that this morning. That's how many he had about an hour ago when I printed that.
Okay, for you people in California who are going to if you're starting to invest in the Vote John campaign, here's a guy who used to keep a jar by his computer because he didn't want to walk 2 feet to piss. And he'd miss the jar, get it all over the computer screen. And when his kids their fingers would stick to the screen from his urine, he would laugh.
Oh,
Wow.
Vote John.
So you and I have sunk to talking to each other, and he's sunk to politics.
I mean, really, there's nothing as Woody Allen said. It's like a step above child molester. By the way, very ironic.
Do that math. Oh,
you got to watch Hannah and Her Sisters, Jack. In 1986, a Woody Allen movie, there's a Thanksgiving scene with an 8-year-old Soon Yi running around. And you got to think, when did he want to fuck her? When did he start fucking her?
When did the heart start wanting?
When did the artist want what the artist wants?
Jeez.
But talking politics with John, though, is one of the most entertaining. I'm
Because the more worked up he gets.
Yeah, right. Liberal. By the way, John is going to do as publicity. He's doing the countdown for New Year's Eve.
You better start now.
I was teeing you up. By the way, John just said 10. Any Californian knows. That's my favorite. I laugh already. Any Californian knows. Like he's a Californian.
Right.
He moved there 3 seconds ago.
Right. What happened to Massapequa?
I'm waiting to get Jay Leno's endorsement. Yes, I understand. Listen, any Californian knows we need change. And I know John needs rent.
Yeah, I kept him around, but maybe I wasn't doing any favors.
Listen, I realized 2 months in that I gave the single most coveted voiceover job in television history to a guy with a speech impediment.
Oh, my God. I liked it. I got to tell you how much fun I had with the guy.
Yeah. Well,
Did I ever tell
like
you?
the fun we're having now, fat shaming.
He moves to Bayville. Did we go over this? He moves to Bayville.
Well, he moved right next to you.
Well, yeah, he moved a couple.
It's the first time I met you was at John's annual party.
His wife wanted to move to Long Island. He said, well, I'll move if we can go to Jackie's town. So he moves to Bayville. And he says, well, Jackie, you drive in every day. It makes a lot of sense to go together.
Unbelievable.
So by now, I'm at a point where I get up, I shower, I do what I got to do. It's clockwork.
He's like, why do you shower?
So I go right through everything I do, and I down to the minute. I walk in at 5:59. So he wants a ride. I pull up to get him at his house. The house is completely dark. I can't beep the fucking horn because it's 4:30. It's 5 o'clock in the morning.
That's so great.
So what am I going to do? All of a sudden, I see this silhouette. And this fucking idiot is running towards the car in his underpants, holding his clothes.
Oh, God.
And I'm like, you fucking moron. And I said, all right, that's it. I'm not doing this.
That's like, he's half Puerto Rican, half Danish. Like, did you get any of the data? Did you get any of the data?
And meanwhile, we're commuting from a block away on Long Island in separate cars because I'm not going to,
He put out a lot of bad karma. He would shake down those young interns who were, I bought him lunch every day for 4 years. Every day. So I'm not giving to the campaign.
I certainly passed that math along.
Yeah, I know, exactly. They said that. They go, he got Jackie now he's got Artie doing it.
Let's get chickens.
Chicken. I'm at the Astro Diner eating with him. I look up for my lentil soup. I got a 6-hour flight to Phoenix to tell dick jokes to make a little money. And I look up, and John is cutting a nose hair with a steak knife.
Oh, God.
not kidding. He's got a steak knife and he's sawing. He's sawing at a nose hair he pulled out of his nostril.
Oh, God.
And I almost the Polish waitress almost threw up. She was there illegally and she almost told somebody that. I got to get out of here.
Jackie, let's go to the Friars. Oh yeah, that's
Jackie, can I be a Friar?
so great, so fun.
He didn't understand why. People thought you were funnier than him, and he wanted that chair, dude. He hated me. He doesn't admit this, but when I was sitting in that chair to look like I might get the job, he was giving me death stares because he thought he was going to sashay into that fucking job. And I said, "What makes you think you're as funny as Jackie was? What makes you think that? What makes you think I write Howard jokes in the back?"
It's
whatever. You invented a joke, Kim. You invented a job in show business. You did. That's pretty impressive. Wow. And he was writing in jokes on the phone, and I don't know. I like the guy, but come on.
Whatever.
He's gonna be a senator. What is he going to be? Congress?
He's senator. What is his?
A chicken in every pot.
Hey, Jackie, could you buy me a chicken in every pot? Could you buy me chicken and some pot? I know his thing. He misinterprets it. A chicken and some pot. For every Californian, I promise a chicken and some pot. Weed. He spelled, okay, I am officially announcing that I will be running for senator of California, planning to unseat Dianne Feinstein. Planning to unseat. She has been great, but we need a much younger, a much more aggressive, and a much dumber non-Jew. So he's younger, more aggressive. How old is John? He's older than me.
I know that he never would let anybody celebrate his birthdays because he didn't want anybody to know, like when he turned.
You know what? No one was celebrating it anyway. He took,
But he's young. He's a lot younger than me. I know that.
2 years older than me. We figured it out on the air because the first birthday that I was there, he lied about and he got busted. He took 2 years off. He said he was 36. He said he was 34. He was 36. So he's 2 years. So I'm 40. He's 51 years old.
He would not let anybody. He wouldn't let it get out when he turned 40. Supposedly.
What an idiot. What do you think? I guess a rock star isn't old like that.
I had Gary guessing at my. I lied to Gary about my age for like 20 years.
Well,
he never knew.
You're from that old school show business thing. It's like that did help. But
I'm 1,000 years old.
Well, listen. You told me you were 998. Okay, and a much needed change to handle the challenges, the many challenges we face in this great state.
Wow.
Dianne and Feinstein, spelled wrong. That entire thing, by the way, one sentence.
Now, he's going to be calling you for equal time, and I think you should just say here, if you want to, what's your platform? He's got to have a platform. Wouldn't you love to hear his platform? He's got to have, tell me he needs 3 good ideas.
I've got to, well, he hasn't had that in 51 years.
Like his first good idea is, I need 2 more ideas.
What's an idea? I got 3 IKEA stores.
I'm saying for the record that he's a maniac, but I do love him.
Let me tell you something.
You do too.
Of course I do. But John doesn't take busting balls like we take it. He can break chops, but we do something like this, like, you're pretty nasty to me. Nasty to you? Whatever.
I got reports from people about how horrible things that he said about me after I left the show. I never listened to it.
Whatever. Listen, let me tell you something, Jack. Okay, who cares to a certain extent? I understand what you're saying, and you're being a nice guy, but what he proved was any wage Howard was blowing, he's going. And that's difficult when a person's entire existence is based on the approval of one guy, and they will change their opinion based on that. That's a dangerous person, and it's not a friend. And I'll say that right now. It's not a friend.
Well, I never checked up, never listened.
Okay, you pushed back on even Howard's ideas because you were your own man. And let me tell you something. That means that person is more trustworthy than a guy who doesn't do that. And I learned that
floats with the wind.
Exactly. I learned that going in. I said I never changed my agent to Howard's agent early on because I would say it's on. Howard never gave me shit about it, but I couldn't believe Fred. Well, we talked about this.
Yeah, no.
I couldn't believe Fred and Robin had the same agent as Howard. Who's that agent making happy?
Go on and fight with yourself for me.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you had the best line you had with Fred. Look, Freddie's a genius, but again, he doesn't want to rock the boat. He's a good guy. But you said to him, Fred, it's America. You can ask for more money.
Yeah,
We're on a show that, quite frankly, we did kind of help for him. That makes $1 billion a minute.
you're allowed to you're allowed to ask for more, and they're allowed to say no.
Exactly, and
But
they did. But you're the only one who asked.
Right.
If two people ask, it's harder for them to say no. That's the point.
It's right. But God forbid,
You got to admit, though, Howard did think, a lot of people thought, like, when you left, it would fall apart. In a way, it did, because no, you were never replaced. I had a much different role in that show. I was not good at the job you had, and that's the reason he kept my mic on. I tried to write jokes, and he didn't use any of them. I could not write in his voice. So, in a way, the show completely changed. But
not in a bad or...
Well, it was just different.
It was different.
I never thought it was better or what. I actually thought as a fan it was worse. I'm a Jackie fan.
Jesus
But it was never about... Again, we talked about this too. Me and you were never at odds. Ever. I
can't believe you guys are getting together. Oh, you're on the show? You guys are friends again? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. We talked about this off the air.
You know what somebody tweeted today? Underwear, it said I was coming on your show. They wrote the ex-wives club. They wrote. I actually laughed out loud.
Again, it's like it's not. If you can see how happy we are, other people left the show. Maybe not that happy, but one's going to be a senator.
Well, and I guess we'll be calling him for favors.
How about absolutely, John? Can I get a parking ticket? And he won't even answer the phone. Artie, quite frankly, it's out of line. If he wins this, how fast is Casey making a poster?
Oh God! Oh my God!
Or Ganji. I loved all those guys. Ganji.
I see Grillo all the time.
Grillo, I see all the time.
He's got a great job, and he's working on with a good guy, Roy McDonald. He's working with, and
what's he doing now?
They do the light. Roy invented this great light for movies and television. Doesn't give off any heat.
A light that doesn't give heat. Well, you know what? Neither does Grillo.
And he fits right in. Oh, poor Grillo.
Grillo doesn't give off any heat. They had a heat-seeking missile for Grillo. It didn't find him.
No luminescence coming off that brain.
A heat-seeking missile.
But they're great. They're really great, and I see them all the time.
Grillo's the greatest guy.
He's a straight shooter, and that's a guy who doesn't blow in the wind. That's a guy who tells.
Well, that's what I mean. Look, he had a bicycle chain. I'd see him around New York. He sounded like the ghost of Christmas past coming in. And I said, "What are you doing?" He goes, "I'm delivering pizza." And he always did something to make money. He's a hustler.
He's always kept his head above water, and now he's got a great job with a great firm, and it's good.
Would you trust John? Would you trust John with money?
What was that? Jesus.
In the coffer, in the government coffer.
If I'm sitting here,
by the way, he has a coffer.
You're sitting here with John, okay, and your wallet's on the table. You got to get up and take a shit.
Right.
Do you take your wallet with you?
I say, listen, if it's going to stay here, John has to keep clapping his hands. I have to go, John, you have to do something that you've never heard at one of your shows.
Now that's wrong. I know it's wrong to say it. It's not incorrect.
It's something he would say a million times. And thinking, oh, come on. That's the great thing. Oh, you just ruined my relationship. You said I was cheating. I was like, oh, come on. I haven't said to you. I'll call you. I'll call your girlfriend. Let me call. I'll try.
No, I love you.
I know, exactly. I love you. Come on. When Fred would start, how about the greatest thing that Howard on America's Got Talent, there was a stuttering comedian. Howard said, "You're inspirational." I said, "How is everyone in America not dying laughing?" An inspiration.
Did they ever address that on
never
the radio
did.
show?
Never did. And I'll tell you what, could anybody have played the clip immediately after that of Fred literally making John suicidal? Every time John opened his mouth, that's Howard's got $1 billion from that, not from calling a guy inspirational.
Jeez.
Heidi Klum. Heidi Klum is giving shit to Jewish comedians on America's Got Talent. She said to my friend Dan Adamant, "You're really offensive." She's sitting next to Howard Stern.
Everybody's so full of shit.
I know.
Everybody just is so Full of shit.
But you always were a good guy too, Jack. By the way, you never publicly gave me shit. And you could have. A lot of loyal fans were mad
About what? Give you shit about?
I mean, about the fact that no, you never were out of line and saying, because I never was either, but attacking me just for the sense that I was there, because a lot of loyal fans were upset you left, not at you, at the show. And you were always a good guy about it.
That's what killed me, was that they were mad at me. Like I didn't quit the show and leave.
Right.
I asked for more money and I didn't get it.
You acted like an American.
You can get mad at that, but they hated me for that. Because I put making money.
What's wrong with
made that more important than them? And it's well, yeah.
No kidding.
It is more important than the fans.
Yeah.
I don't care about the fans.
Of course. The fans care about money too.
Jesus. Jesus. It never gets old talking about it, because people just...
Well, that's American business.
They can't.
On the other end, people say, you don't care about money, but of course they do it. I hate when somebody tells a kid money's not everything. Well, guess what? It's more important to be kind. Try to be kind to your landlord and see if he lets you stay.
But I came across as some kind of hypocrite, because from the day they met me,
and I was a hippo.
I was always the hippie. I don't care. Right. I don't care about, I drink. I don't give a shit.
But in a way you weren't. You were a businessman too.
No, but and then it came, and I quit over money. And the truth is, it was not over money as much as it was over fairness.
Right.
If your pile is this big,
right.
and my pile is this big, and I want my pile to be a little bigger because that's fair.
Right.
And it's not fair. It wasn't the dollars and cents because I wanted to buy an extra bigger house or a bigger car. It was like the fairness of the situation.
In a way, you were being because listen, sometimes you have to really know your limitations as a human being. People do get resentful. And you're going down the road going, if I'm not going to get what I think is fair, that is a key word, you're going to resent people. And it's so hard. You got to remember what you guys are creating. You're being funny. You're trying to create comedy. It's very important to like everybody in the room. Not that you would dislike them, but if you feel wronged by someone, it's hard to laugh with them in real life. And the show is based on, it's not a script, it's people having fun with each other. That's the whole show.
And it's a very weird thing to put a price tag on.
Yeah, but they do.
But when I left over money or over whatever reason, I mean, I know that Fred I'm sure has never asked for money, right? And when I left, he could have got mad at, and I know that, he's never asked for more money, that he could, I'm sure when he found out what I left, the offer after I left, I'm sure it got him mad. He could have got mad at Howard. Yeah. He could have got mad at his agent, or he could have got mad at himself. But he got mad at me.
Well, listen, because of out of fear, and the fact that he's a brilliant farm boy. That's the problem. There's a dichotomy there. He's a genius, Fred, but he thinks it's being nice when it's really just being like naive.
But I really don't think he's. But
getting mad at his agent is getting mad at Howard. So you can't for both of those out.
Yeah, it's a black box.
Right, exactly. And that's speaking of Robin.
Oh boy, did you beat me by a cunt hair right there. It was in my throat.
Speaking of Robin.
Oh.
Who, by the way, had a crush on you. Is there any truth to that?
No.
Yeah, I think so.
I forget we've talked about it on the show, but I came in one day because I learned early on you tell the truth, and I walked in like 86 or 87. It was very early on. Right. I said, Howard, I got to tell you the truth. I had a really vivid graphic sex dream about Robin last night.
Absolutely.
And everybody's like, well, that's pretty wild. I said, look, I don't have to make this up for the show. And I really did.
Yeah.
And a couple of weeks later, like, Robin come in and she says, Howard, I got to tell you something. I had a graphic sex dream about Jackie. And that was the hardest thing in the world for her to say.
Absolutely.
But she's a team player,
Look, and again, that's what made the show. Your honesty made a bit that lasted for years and years.
I got so sick of fucking her, though.
Oh, God. I didn't.
No.
Great. She was so generous to me, Robin. Freddie was so nice to me. Howard was so nice. Everybody was nice. But it's like Howard does have a way of, he can cut people out of his life, and he does that with people that, people like Casey and stuff. There were loyal soldiers to him. And I just he should take some phone calls. That's my beef. I got no problems.
So I don't know any of that garbage. Does he not take phone calls or?
They can't get him on the phone. That's why the last time I not KC but some other people, because like 50 people there, some of them need health benefits, and I think they wanted Howard to maybe call Sirius with one phone call. Not even Gary would make it. They'd get a job and get some health benefits.
Well,
he wouldn't even have to see them. But so I call and everybody thinks I'm being like I'm trying to beg him for something.
He's touched people along the way. If everybody touched along the way,
No, you're not saying any of this. I'm not putting you in an awkward position.
No, not at all. But I'm trying to figure out how I actually feel about that.
Well, about what? About other people?
About what?
Yeah, it's not Howard's responsibility.
No,
no, not at all.
But you can be a mensch or whatever.
But would you do it? Would you do it? Would you make a phone call for somebody?
For KC?
Anybody?
No. No, I've always been good to people, and I've always been crazy generous my whole life. And when Howard started the whole thing on the air about being cheap, my friends couldn't believe it.
I know.
But he knew that he's a genius. He knew that was pushing a button in me.
Exactly, button pushing. That's what he's good at.
That was brilliant. It was astute.
Which is why Trump is also good at button pushing. Which is true.
The greatest thing was he told everybody I was an angry guy. And the minute you start arguing that you're not an angry guy, you're an angry guy.
Absolutely.
It's
that's
brilliant.
the problem.
And that's brilliant. I always thought that was brilliant.
Somebody, this guy got, there was somebody on CNN, I think, some of these people on Twitter are so stupid. They said, they tweeted something to a Trump supporter, hey man, you're against peace. You're against peace and love. That's what your party's about. And if you don't stop, I'm going to kill you. That's a paradox.
That's always great.
I got to take a diabetic piss.
Kill for war.
More about John's. How long have we been talking for? Because I want
40.
All right. More about John. I don't want to get the John show, but his picture, the announcing any Californian knows. It's so funny. All right. Are we back then?
We are back.
Do not air some of that shit at the beginning. Don't give it to someone who will either. He is so mad at me for being successful now. I'm sorry. Hi, Dan. It's me. It's Michael D'Antonio.
Hi, Anderson.
Hi, Anderson. How are you?
It's not the basketball coach, is it?
Listen, Michael Cooper was a Laker, right? That's not your father? Was your father Coop? Can I call you Coop?
Jesus.
Hey, what do you got going on, Jack?
I did a sitcom pilot that is actually getting all kinds. It's
what was his
awards. Name? That's See,
wait, now who?
Robin.
That's great for who?
No, it's for this guy that's this filmmaker, and he always said he was going to do a project and put me in it.
Right.
And it's with Linda Hamilton from Terminator.
No kidding.
And who still looks great.
By the way, the play about her life on Broadway, kicking ass.
She is. That's not funny.
Go ahead.
That is a good angle.
That's but she was hot. First of all, she was hot. That second Terminator.
Still so nice. And William Sadler and me, and it's called Shoot Me Nicely, about a tabloid photographer, and we're winning awards, and we're going to Munich, and we're winning
awards for what? Where did it air?
Just for being like best short film in
so it's a short film or a sitcom?
Well, it's a sitcom pilot, but it works as a short film.
But so they released it as a short film. So how do you win an award if it's not released yet?
At the film festival.
Oh, okay.
It was great. And
so it plays like a short, so it's one camera shoot. That's great.
We played.
No, but I'm saying one camera shoot is a better quality. I think.
No, it's not one camera shoot. It's
in front of an audience.
It's made like a film.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. A film is, that's why I say one camera film shoot, and those are always better to me than a regular sitcoms anyway. They're more quality. Is it a comedy?
And it's funny, and I got a decent role, and I'm really excited about it. And Elias Plagiano, who did it, is just a really talented guy, and
he wrote
we just won a film festival.
What's it about?
It's about a tabloid photographer that can't make money because everybody's got a goddamn cell phone, so it's impossible to get something exclusive.
Oh, wow, that is interesting. First of all, that's interesting.
And
I better cut into those fucking jerk offs.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's a great premise, and it's really fun. And I finally got a book deal.
That's great.
And I'm doing my book.
Okay, now here we go. Though this is a great. Okay. What's it going to be about? Are you talking about the Stern Show? What do they want you to talk about?
It's my life, and I'm sure they're going to say, we don't care what happened since you left Howard or before Howard.
Is that what they said?
No, not really.
Are you going to talk about the Stern Show?
About everything, yeah.
So what are you going to talk about?
But you know what? It's not a real. People say, "Oh, is it going to be tell-all?" But it's not a tell-all because everybody knows everything.
And
but
I tell everybody
the things that they don't know. they're going to be funny, even if they know them.
Right.
The guy coming in and taking his shit on the floor is going to be funny from my point
enough
of
about
view.
me.
Yeah.
No, okay. Wait a minute.
I already wrote it. It's 120,000 words, and everybody loves it.
120,000. How many pages is that?
Yeah, no. It's going to be cut way down.
120,000 words.
No, it's going to be cut way down.
See, you're a real writer, man. That is like, I didn't write any of my books.
I loved writing, and it's great. And I got a real good friend to do the forward.
Now, don't release it Father's Day, because that's when my book's coming out. It's going to be on. It's a monster. No, listen, dude. That's first of all, you should have had a book deal a long time ago, because the angle. First of all, peppering it with one-liners and punching it up. Who could be better at that?
It was so funny.
Are you going through it and doing that, like that process? Why not?
No, because it's. I think I write pretty funny, and it comes across as really colloquial.
Your childhood?
Huh?
So your childhood?
Yeah, I don't know how much of that's going to make it, but I came from a wacky,
I'm interested in that.
Funny family, and there's a lot of funny shit took place, and it's going to be interesting to see what's interesting to people and what's not.
Well, I got to tell you, Jack, as a Stern fan, I think a lot of people think that I would be fascinated on your childhood.
It's a question of. Over the years, all these decades, I've touched so many people through music and comedy and stuff like that.
Yep.
How interested they still are, who knows? But it's an unknown. I don't know if I'm going to sell one book or 1 million books.
Oh, you'll sell books. You'll sell books.
But you know what I'm saying?
I know all of my friends that would listen to the Stern Show, everyone would buy that book, every one of them.
Because if they read 3 things they didn't know, it's fun.
Listen, when you're a fan of somebody, especially in comedy, I'm always fascinated by their childhood. To tell you the truth, I don't know a lot about it because you never really talked about it. And I think everybody who listened to the show when I did, it's a lot of people, and those people buy books.
Right. And I used to tell stories on the show, but you know how it was. I'd tell a story, and Howard and Robert wouldn't laugh because they thought it was funny to make me look like an asshole. Yeah. But people would come up to me and say, "God, we love it when you tell a story on the show."
Some of the best stories
ever.
I'll just say this: Harvest Moon, 2 words. That's all. So that should be the name of the fucking book. Well, absolutely. Well, we'll have you on a bunch of times.
And they're doing a documentary on me. So
who is
my old radio partner? And
well, can I speak on that?
Oh, you better.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. This is okay.
You better say something nice, though.
Here's my fucking point. Will Howard speak on it? No way, Jack.
I'm not going to.
No way.
You know what?
Because he's an asshole.
No, don't say it. I'm not going to embarrass.
I'm saying it.
I'm not going to embarrass myself and ask him.
How okay.
And
17 fucking years on the show. Case in point, dickheads who give me shit on Twitter. This is not Jackie talking. I'm mad at him. 17 years he helped create the fucking show. He gets rid of when he asks for more money. I know you won't sit down for 20 minutes and talk.
Artie,
whatever.
You can't yell at him because I didn't. I didn't ask him.
You're not.
I didn't ask him.
And the fact.
But it'd be really funny.
The fact that you're afraid to ask him is crazy.
No, I'm not afraid to ask him.
You said you're afraid to look like an asshole because you don't want to look like a jerk.
Well, I just don't want him to say
that's fear because he's going to say no.
But if I don't ask him, it will always be all he had to do was ask.
You know what, Jack? I'm mad for you, man. I love you, and I know you don't. I know you're. This is not you talking, but and you know who else ain't gonna with the new regime over there with that red-haired cunt is Robin ain't gonna say yes because she's afraid. Neither will Freddie. Because he's afraid. Nobody will. Nobody over there will give you the decency to give you what you deserve. A couple of minutes of his fucking time.
No, but
the guy who made my show hilarious for 17 years. People who are a fan of mine, I jumped on that show when it was that show was already iconic when I got on the air. All I could have done was fuck it up. And a lot of that had to do with the gentleman standing to my left, right, my right. Honestly. And think about that. You know the dynamic. I didn't want to ask, my second book came out, similar to you. They paid me a lot of money for the second book because the first one did so well. And they said, look, we want to advertise on Howard. I said, don't ask, I'll ask. But I didn't want to because I knew they were going to say no. I didn't want to give him the satisfaction.
That's exactly.
But that's
just said exactly
but that's on him, not you. So anyway, I say, okay, they were paying me so much money. I said, I'll do you the decency of asking. I ask Gary, goes, let me ask him, calls back the next day, and the smug fucking voice goes, it just isn't going to happen. I'm like, okay, it just ain't going to happen. Great. Thank you. Bye. I didn't want to keep talking because I would have fucking driven there and hit him with a bat.
No.
Okay? So after that happens, they call me up 2 weeks later and go, "Oh, we've never seen this before." I go, "What?" He goes, "We tried to buy ad time. They wouldn't take our money."
You know what?
We've never seen that before.
Is staggering. Because
a
that's
commercial they didn't have to read. He wouldn't even have heard the commercial.
So it's totally removed from the show.
It's capitalism. They wouldn't take me. This is the first person on radio who never took our money.
Boy,
I mean, so what did I do? What did Jackie do so wrong?
Not to
what
make
did I
it,
do
not
so
to make
wrong?
a Jewish joke, but holy Christ, is that Sophie's choice?
And then here's the reason why I don't have a bitch and you do. I'm more mad for you because Howard did me solids that he never did for anybody else. I think I was younger. I think he looked at me as a fan, and he had affection of me because I had so many flaws, and he wanted to help me at one time. Which is like he wrote the foreword for my fucking book. He let me put his name on the cover. Howard did me favors he never did anybody else. Howard owes me nothing, and that book was like I just didn't want to hear him say no because it hurt me. I'm mad for Jackie.
No, but
I'm mad for Jackie. Why can't he sit down
wait a minute,
and
wait a
do
minute.
that?
He didn't. First of all, he didn't say no yet. I got to come. When I went there and said I'm doing a joke book for Simon & Schuster, and they asked me if you would do the forward, and he said yes before I finished the question, and he wrote a magnificent forward.
The
to my
forward he
joke
wrote for
book.
me too is unbelievable.
So
okay, well, so
and
so
he
that
might
means
just shock the piss out of me, but I don't want.
How about this? Maybe he would say yes.
No, and he might, but I don't want to put him on the spot. Like
Jack, why don't you? Yeah, if you really do think that, ask. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. Him being in that documentary is a big deal.
Yeah, but
What you know what, Jack? You know what? I'm going to give you some advice here. Ask him. I didn't think you had that much confidence in him saying yes. So you're on the fence. So do you think it's 50-50? If you think it's 50-50, you have to ask him because it's a bigger look. You got to give the guy props. He's the biggest fucking name ever.
He's the biggest star anyway.
And you helped that show. The show's going to be a big part of it. You should ask him because it's that much bigger, man. Some things are ridiculous. The guys who financed my film said, "Would you ask Howard if he would play an umpire one day?" No. I said, "Guys, here's what I want to do. This film would be way funnier than anything in Beer League. I want to film me asking that."
Yeah, there's your foot.
Right.
Yeah.
Guys, what show you been listening to for fucking 20
You know
years?
what, Artie? There's my documentary. Is me asking him if he'll be in the documentary.
Well, I don't know, Jack. You're such a good Jack. You're such a good guy.
But and the bottom line is, for all the crappy shit he does here or there, or the strings he pulls, he's a good. He can be such a good.
You're having a debate in your head that he should be involved in. You're doing both ends of the conversation. Let him talk like that. And again, I'm the only one there who was overpaid because I jumped on when that show was a hit. Howard touched me like he brought me to the front row of show business in a lot of ways. I went from playing Yuck Yucks to goddamn Carnegie Hall. And I did that on the mountain that Jackie built. And Howard, I was already, so I don't have any complaints. So I'm not putting me in this category. But if Howard wanted to do the right thing, the day he retires, I would drive to Fred Norris's house, give him an envelope with a check for $50 million in it, and say thank you. I would do the same with Jackie. I would give Robin 20 because I think she made a lot of money, and quite frankly, the African Americans don't need as much. And no, she would get about 20.
What, you going to buy a swimming pool?
Anyway, I would give her less because I think she made money, and Gary would get about 30 mil. I'm not kidding. It's like he's a billionaire, and you guys created that show with him. He's amazing. Alone, it would have been a hit. But I'm not kidding you because it's even a tax bill. I would give Jackie and Fred $50 million in an envelope and say, "Thanks, guys."
That was always so crazy about me asking for the raise because if they had given me the money I wanted, that's all tax.
That's why I'm right. I'm gonna die a broke guinea because of that attitude. But come on, man. Come on. Me, no. I'm not. I got made. I made a lot on the road, and I got paid a nice salary or he did me a favor. You guys helped build it. And you think I'm kidding. That's the figure. That's the figure.
It's crazy. Well,
and you're being a nice guy here, too, so I'm saying it. I don't care anymore. He did a lot of good things, but he's undoing it with this red-haired cunt. Who is this red-haired cunt? Who is she?
I wasn't. I don't listen to the show, and I wasn't around. I would love to know the genesis of how that happened.
Well, I think he. Oh God, I'm trying to think. Well, okay, Marcy Turk is her name. I call her redhead cunt. She's involved with this book called Getting Things Done. And Howard, he was always.
But where did that come from?
Is it
something you heard of?
Okay, I'm going to give you my theory. Howard was always about organizing, and I think he didn't love the part of the show that was, maybe some of my stand-up gigs and some stuff that Ronnie started doing and on the road that represented the Howard Stern show. He thought that was something that stopped him from getting great guests.
And maybe he didn't want to be the bad guy to say, this can't go on.
Absolutely. That's such a great point. Absolutely. And that's how he is. He would do that with phone callers. His dynamic was, if he hated you and was mad, he'd say, I don't know, I liked you last night on Conan, but this guy in Brooklyn doesn't. Like that type of thing. He's passive-aggressive. He's brilliant. He's the king of marketing, blah, blah, blah. And we give him those props. Everybody gives him those props. But, that can get tiring, too. He wanted that, what you're talking about, but I think he also wanted like a lot of great artists, he hates sycophants. I would tell Gary, kissing his ass the way you do, a guy like that doesn't like you more. They hate you. They have no respect for you. You become a suck ass. You don't have to do that. You're valuable to the show.
It's like eating too much candy. It's like,
exactly. And if the candy's a sweaty Italian guy from Long Island, forget about it.
And look what it did to my teeth.
All that stuff, exactly. All that. I say you don't have to always put up with that. But okay, there's that, and there's the fact that I think he wanted to look more. Oh God, how can I put this?
Streamlined,
presidential. Like the show should be regal. The way the money it makes, and the people that. I think you saw the Jimmy Kimmel's. I think Jimmy and his friendship had a lot to do with it. Jimmy's putting on a tuxedo.
In other words, it's not the ragamuffin.
Yes, but that humor he perfect. That's not dumb. Like what Jackie and I do, it's not dumb humor. It's still smart. If you're funny, it's smart. It's just about a different subject, and he mastered it. What's wrong with that? I think he got older and he didn't want to do all that anymore. And I think he thought these people could show him how to, streamline the show and make it more. That's the only way I can put it. Jimmy Kimmel's friendship with him, I think, had a lot to do with it. I love Jimmy. He's a great guy. But Jimmy was a guy that Howard saw as a fan of his. Jimmy was host of the Emmys, host of the Oscars, and Howard always saw himself as a guy who could have a talk show on ABC, but people were scared. And I think
the truth of it is,
I think he wants to be more like Jimmy Kimmel.
He was always a ball buster and the outsider and the guy taking shots at everybody. But the truth of it is that he wanted to be in the room with the Jennifer Aniston.
Such a good, another great point.
He had his nose up against the window pane the whole time.
Oh God, you hit the point on the.
And when he realized, wait, I could get in that room.
But all of us as fans thought differently. Here's where the betrayal comes with the fans. And he owes them nothing. And he gave them entertaining shows, as did you, forever. But I read an article about F. Scott Fitzgerald and Hunter Thompson, the two writers. Both were guys that came from nothing. Both guys wrote about the upper class that they were not a part of when they grew up. F. Scott Fitzgerald clearly got depressed because by writing about them, he became one of them and he wanted to be one of them. Hunter S. Thompson wrote about them. When he had a chance to go into that fucking room, he shot it up. He was always the rebel. He was always the guy you thought he was. Howard always
Hunter Thompson kept the fuck you.
Yes, and he kept it real in a sense. Like, I'm always this guy. I don't want to be a part of you. He said to people like Sean Penn and Johnny Depp, you want to hang out with me? You got to come to my world. I ain't going to you. And they did. And they would have done the same for Howard. He could have been the one guy who made all this money and would have had fans more loyal and could have said, fuck you to political correctness. Instead, he broke that window down like Fitzgerald and Thompson, and he did the F. Scott Fitzgerald. He goes, no, I want to be at your wedding. I was always the nerd who wanted to be in the in crowd. You represent.
He put a certain amount of people on the table and pushed other people off the table.
And guess who doesn't belong in that room, Jack? Me, you, Benji, Freddie, and he abandoned all them and all his fans to go sit down with her, and that's where they felt betrayed. I thought he would have shot up the room. He sat at the room and said, fuck you. If you're not cool enough to be here, you're not allowed to talk to me, and the way I'm going to do that is hire this broad. So people who've been there for 30 years can't talk to Howard without permission from this cunt. That's why I'm mad.
Is that now?
You hit the nail on the head, Jack. You hit the nail on the fucking head.
Wait, is there any truth to what you just said?
Yes. And I'm not going to say how I know that.
Oh.
I'm not going to say how I know that. You need permission to talk to him from red-haired cunt.
Mother, may I?
Would you put up with that, Jack? There's a dress code in the fucking office. What happened to rock and roll? What happened to rock and roll? What happened to Harvest Moon?
When somebody said they can't wear T-shirts to be on the radio at 6 o'clock in the morning anymore, I was like, I really thought that was somebody was making a joke, because
Right.
we used to leave the Stern Show and walk into the Friars Club in T-shirts. But I was like, I didn't care who looked at us because we just came from the fucking trenches.
And
we
you're
just
rocking,
entertained millions of people.
The greatest thing is about the fact that the hierarchy, all the salesmen on one floor, and you guys, not making a dime of what you guys make because they're conformists, coming down to your floor and you're dwarfing their income wearing a goddamn weed shirt. Picture of a marijuana plant, and
enabling them to make a living.
Of course, on us, and look, I really think, and I've never said this before, I really think Jimmy Kimmel had a lot to do with it. I think he looked at Jimmy and saw a guy who deep down he doesn't think Jimmy's as funny as him. He doesn't think he thinks Jimmy rips him off, as a matter of fact. But he loves Jimmy because he's a good guy, and he goes, I should be hosting the Emmys. I could. And you know what? Howard's right. Why isn't he? Body judging. Fat shaming. I'm telling you right now, all the people he's sucking dick for right now, they're the ones who kept him away from the Emmys because he's a 6'5" guy who looks like a pelican. It's all optics. It's optics, and he won't play by the rules. He proved that. You guys were such rebels, and that's why I loved you guys. You used to say, Jack, you might even wrote this. You might have been the guy who said it. Drew Barrymore's life would be perfect if not for you guys. And you guys kept it with we had that. The guys I worked construction with put on the day after the People's Choice Awards. We had someone who would say, that sucked. Play fucking clips of some idiot talking about their movie and goofing on it.
And their mother.
Oh, come on. Come on, the news. I wanted to. Listen, it's a great country because I said out loud, working construction, guys, what I want to be is a comedian and one day go on the news with Jackie and maybe Gilbert as a guest and do the news on the Howard Stern Show. And every comic of my generation who's worth anything has the same fucking opinion. Jeff Ross thinks that way. Attell, Norm Macdonald.
They
everybody.
wanted to do that, or you're talking about the way things are now?
Well, no, they want to do that. And when I went in there with Norm and I looked to my right and I saw you and Freddie and I saw Howard and I said, I'm in show business. I was already in it for 5 years. I had been on network shows, sitcoms. By that time, honestly, I was a self-made millionaire from show business. I was very proud of that. But until I walked in and saw you guys, I said, now I'm here. And come on. We all thought he wanted to fucking get in that fucking room to say, fuck you, Aniston. And he wants to be there. And I think Jimmy and other people in his life had a lot to do with that. I've never said any of that out loud. And Jack, you're so perceptive. The nose on the window thing, and he has to stand back forward for that nose.
I wasn't going near that.
I know, but I was. And I'm not. Again, I'm not mad at it. He'll never talk to me again. Talking like this is too honest for him. I wish you could understand how much I love him and what he did, and that's why this is weird to me. But he does what he wants to do. He does what he wants to do.
You can't be in both rooms if you're gonna.
You're right. You're right.
He can't go to one of those parties after
he's trying to do that.
Somebody down.
Yeah.
So
it's hard. I'm going through it. The first time that happened to me was the movie star Paul Rudd, who's a good guy, on the air doing Robin's News. And you do 15,000 hours in this career on radio. You forget what you said. He came up
break balls about everybody.
Right. Everybody. The rules are about. Kevin Smith, the director, got mad at something we did, and he claimed to be a fan of the show. And my theory was like, I said to Howard off the air, I said, dude, if you don't think the rules apply to him, fuck him. The rules apply to everybody here. You don't give anybody a pass. That's what they love about you.
Well, yeah, but that's the beauty of it.
Right, that is the beauty of it. You stay true to it.
Howard insulted me. Well, it's a badging. It's a Purple Heart.
Don Rickles will too, dude. Calm down.
He's just fucking around.
In Toronto, on the set of Dirty Work, this kid named Darcy, who didn't know Rickles, when he came up, he said to me and Norm, "Hey, what's with this guy and the insults?"
If you don't know, you don't know.
Right. The guy's name was Darcy, and Rickles kept calling him a girl, like Darcy. So, Jack, you hit it on the head. The looking at the window, wanting to be there, goofing on it, but then he got there. And
wait. Now here's the question.
And we thought he was F. Scott Fitzgerald. We thought he was Hunter Thompson.
Hold on.
He was Fitzgerald.
This is the question for the ages.
Go ahead.
In the beginning.
Yeah.
When he went on the radio and said, I want to be on the radio.
Right.
Was his goal to get in that room? Okay. Or at some point along the way, did he all of a sudden realize, well, maybe he thought that was out of the wood?
Great question.
And all of a sudden at some point he said, wait, you know what?
Yeah.
I could get in that fucking room.
Yeah. Okay, I think from the beginning, deep down, and maybe he didn't even know it in his subconscious, he wanted always to be in that room and be accepted because that he wasn't in high school. He was the nerdy kid who was brilliant, and inside he knew he was brilliant, but couldn't talk with the in crowd. And what the cast of Friends that represents the in crowd of show business. Let's face, they're the pretty people,
right?
Who aren't like.
But he knew his only way, the only route was to be totally fucking outrageous and crazy. Because he's brilliant enough to know if you're a little outrageous.
And he's brilliant at that too.
Right.
And he hired the right people. Like Trump has put together a cabinet. He put together a cabinet in the beginning. That's an analogy. You, Secretary of Jokes. Fred, Secretary of Sound Effects. He
was Dorothy on the way to Oz. That's
even Rob. Finding Robin is such a huge thing because she's brilliant, a great auditor, a great broadcaster, with a great storyteller, a great laugh and a sense of humor. The fact that she was black did help, you guys. It did help. I mean, it freed it up. It made it more of a rainbow coalition.
If it wasn't by design, it certainly appeared by design.
And it wasn't, though. That's the great thing. It was organic. He just said, look, this guy Jackie's obviously perfect, Fred. And then Gary fit in. Because not only could you go, and again, I'll give Gary props too, because I don't hate Gary either, but he was put in a terrible position. I'm actually mad for him as well. Gary, he found a guy with a skin so thick as his lips, but also could produce the show. He was talented enough to produce the biggest show and take constant fire from you guys.
Everybody was perfect at what they did.
Yeah, and again, it just was disappointing when he got in that room and said, "Oh God, Jen, can I sit here? Come on." And everyone else he left behind, the people that helped make him able to get in that room. It's so ironic and crazy, but
now when this woman came aboard, or however she did.
First of all, I never met her.
Did she give him marching orders, or did he give her?
All I know are stories. I know this: Gary, the entire time we were in Sirius, wanted a bigger office. He thought he needed more room. That never happened. Howard used to goof on the fact that he needed a bigger office. When Marcy got there, Marcy Tarek. When she got there, he gave her Gary's office and made it bigger. That's what I heard.
Oh my
If that's not an emasculating fuck off.
Is that true?
And then in front of everybody, in a board of people, Gary, for some reason, Gary begs for it. I can't believe this happened. And a bunch of people told me this, so it's true. Gary gets up and goes, "Howard, is Marcy my boss?" Howard said yes. Oh, wow. What Gary doesn't understand is Howard loves saying yes because people like that, geniuses, don't like sycophants. They don't. They have no fucking respect for you.
So what he did, he might have insulated himself from the crew, but he insulated himself from Gary.
I think she's insulation from both. You're right. Part of that is insulation. The other part is appearing more like, I don't know, presidential, for lack of a better word. A guy that Gwyneth Paltrow will come do this show now.
I didn't tell you can't wear a T-shirt.
Exactly.
Marcy told you couldn't wear a T-shirt.
See, you're smart and you were there. Exactly.
But I was there, but like you could.
Yeah, but a lot of people who were there don't get it either.
You fill in the blank.
A lot of people who are there, Jack, aren't that perceptive. And they're afraid to be. She was all of that, and she got Gwyneth Paltrow on the show. In his opinion, I bet he says, Gary can't, you can. And I wouldn't have fit in there. A big obstacle he had, and I'm not saying he wished me any physical harm, obviously, or drugs. An obstacle he had was me. I would not have fit. No one in Gwyneth Paltrow's life is going to look at the tape of me and let me within 100 feet of her. And she's talking about her green drink for $200. I could not have not goofed on that. I was a problem for him to make that change. And the red-haired cunt Big Mission would have been the first thing to get rid of me. Heroin did that for him. Heroin took me out. And he didn't want it, but heroin took me out. And I guarantee Marcy was probably like, let him go. Don't bring him back. He's gone. He did it to himself. The fans will hate him because they think he's weak. Don't perpetuate that. And that's it. He thought I was going to go away forever. He didn't realize he's dealing with a scumbag that keeps growing up.
Yeah.
I'm a weed that keeps growing, fucker.
The cat with 9 lives.
And so's Jackie. And I don't give a shit about I'm not mad at Howard. I'm so happy because of her. I hate her, not Howard.
Now, listen, I think he's a good guy, okay?
He's a great guy.
But I also think, and I really believe this, if somebody said to him, Howard, one of your stocks just went up and you just made $14 million this morning.
Yeah.
And also somebody said, did you hear, Jackie tripped and broke his nose.
Right.
That news would make him happier than the 14 million. No, not Jackie broke his nose.
Right.
Jackie had a show and there were only 3 people
Absolutely.
there. The show business version of broke is no.
Recently on the air, guys, he showed his true colors by giggling and saying, I hear a lot of the people who left my show are on the verge of a nervous breakdown. These were soldiers to him. He was giggling about that while he was goofing on Benji. He said to Benji on the air, I'm going to because I'm proud of this. He never mentioned Marcy on the air. He was forced to because of me. I kept talking about her. And he said to Benji, I'm going to let Marcy deal with you. Exactly your theory. He said it out loud. I don't want to fire you. I'm going to let Marcy fire you. On the air, he said it. And Benji's still there. You trained Benji well because he is, no one's you in that job, but he is good at writing those jokes.
Oh, he
and Howard
he
uses
was good when he
a
started.
lot, almost all of them. How about giving Benji some props if you're not going to pay? Well, hey, this kid's good. You know, and he is. Freddie, too. And you invented that whole system. What about it, guys? What about it? And don't call up after the show and say, Artie, you're obsessed. I'm not. Jackie's here. We have the Stern Show in common. We're having a conversation a lot of people think is entertaining. I'm not obsessed. He's obsessed with me. I was there for a decade, and he doesn't bring up my name. It's like I didn't exist. That's calculated. Because of the red hair.
And people, and you know, I don't know. People are saying how many shots he takes at me all the time, but I don't know if he's playing, if they're playing old shows or new shows.
Well, that's the other thing. That's the other thing. They say, Art, it's great. You must love it because it's like you're on a sitcom that's in syndication. We hear you every morning still. And I say, great, but one guy's getting paid.
Yeah.
It's like if Friends is in syndication, just David Schwimmer
I
gets
don't
a
even
check.
tell people anymore that I don't get paid for any of that because they don't believe that.
When we went over, when the E! Show went to Howard TV, we had to sign something like a thing Don Buchwald sent over that was like the Iliad. It was this thick.
Right.
And Stuttering John wanted to get a lawyer to look at it, and he was delaying the process and getting people mad. I said, John, listen, Jackie proved one thing. You know, if Jackie get knocked down that mountain, nobody can. Just sign it. You know what's going to happen. Do you want the job or not? Because there were a lot of things. It wasn't.
They're going to drag your balls backwards over the parking lot.
It wasn't a union job. That's the other thing. I was in every union, and my lawyer said, Art, you know, you're going to serious.
You're going to be in trouble.
If it's a very high-profile show, if you get caught being in the union, doing a non-union show, especially one that high-profile, they can prevent you from working for a year and fine you $100,000. Do you think Howard's going to pay that $100,000? No way. And I took that risk because it's the greatest show in the world. Absolutely. And I never got caught. But my lawyer, because he was a great lawyer, had to tell. I go, all right, I have to tell you this.
Yeah, but, you know.
100 G's and you don't work for a year.
Because if he didn't tell you, you could sue him.
But everything, here's how the world goes around. The unions, it's a conflict of interest. You don't think they're scared of Howard? He's a media mogul. He can fuck with you. So it never would have happened because of that. My lawyer couldn't tell me that, but as a guy who's kind of street smart from the port, I knew no one's fucking in the union with Howard.
But the elephant in the room is, why can't they pay union wages? Come on.
Again, I know. It's saving how much money? Anyway,
a few dollars.
Jack, I love you, man. What do you got going on? Tell us again.
Thanks to doing your podcast and Gilbert's podcast and going on with
Gilbert's not allowed on. Gilbert's not allowed on the show anymore.
I can't even do that.
People think he's the greatest guest of all time. Gary said to him, "We don't take comedians anymore," as he was booking a comedian.
Yeah, no. When I did Gilbert's podcast, he said he hadn't been on there in 4 years. But I was on.
Howard doesn't look at him he met Howard on the street. Howard ignored him. What is that about?
Please.
Who's obsessed with who, guys? What is that fucking about?
But I go and do Opie and I go and do Anthony.
I do too. Talk about it.
It's so much fun.
It is a blast.
But I have a whole new prominence. I'm working theaters again. I'm working the Levoy Theater on the 21st of February.
That's great.
21st of January. That's a great theater. In South Jersey.
Guys, I'm telling you, I just worked with Jack. It's something I always knew, but you get reminded. I just did the Gotham. That's a year ago, by the way. We did Gotham.
I know.
Jackie you won't find a better comic, man. You will laugh your ass off.
I just did the wraparounds. They're playing the best of Gotham Live.
Oh, I heard,
on Access, and I did the wraparound.
That whole show's got to be.
And it's like me and you and Gilbert and
Orlando Jones and Mario Cantone. It's one of the best shows they ever did.
Great fun.
No host either. It was like a tag team, and again, it was like watching Babe Ruth tell jokes. So go ahead.
But you're delightful. So I'm doing the Levoy on Saturday, Saturday, January 21st. I'm working a theater, the Suffolk Theater on Long Island. You should go work there if you haven't. It's
I promise you.
Suffolk
I know,
theater.
and you're going to make a joke. Me and Jackie will be doing a show or shows.
We keep. You keep teasing that.
By the
so
way, I
many
fired
people-
that agent.
When do you
By the way, I
work-
fired him.
Seriously?
Yeah, I had to get rid of him.
But they're all like, "What are you doing to show with Artie? What are you doing?"
I had to fire him, but that was one of the main reasons too. It's going to be fun. 2017 is going to be fun. Put it that way.
All right. At any rate, so
Stay healthy.
The 27th of January, I'm at the Suffolk Theater in Riverhead, which is fantastic, and the no, I'm completely going blank. I don't even.
Well, dude,
I'm doing all
it's not a
theaters.
live show. You can record it later because I want to end with this from Stuttering John Melinda. I will not be corrupted by big government. I'm going to wait a minute while you laugh.
Is this a new tweet?
Yeah, new tweet.
Oh.
Three new tweets about John, by the way, running for U.S. Senate. I will not be corrupted by big government. Lobbyists. By the way, period. Then he says lobbyists. Starting with lowercase letter. He's the gift that keeps on giving. Okay. He won't be corrupted by big government, lobbyists, and politicians. What? I am and will always be a dick. I am and always will be a man of the people. John, who thinks you're not? Who thinks you're some snob, John? He's talking like he's a Harvard lawyer.
I'm not that guy you think I am.
I will always be a stuttered half Puerto Rican. I am and will always be a man of the people. Thanks for reminding us. I love all.
I will walk among the little people.
I love all. Can I have $2,000? Hashtag vote John. Okay, next. I have a serious agenda. Serious spelled like serious satellite radio. I'm kidding.
Jesus.
I have a serious agenda. In my audition for the Tonight Show, I said nigger. Niggerless Cage.
Jesus.
Okay, get that tape out. It won't run for anything. I have a serious agenda in California. I see too many people who want to work but are denied being in the workforce based on credit report. You're one of them.
I was just going to say, who's he talking about?
What are you looking in the mirror? Look, how about this one sentence, by the way? I'm out of breath. I have a serious agenda in California. I see too many people who want to work but are denied being in the workforce based on credit report. You sound like him after a while. It's by design. I got a credit report.
Do you think he sobers up and says, I tweeted what?
I'll tell you this. I'll tell you why. I'll answer in John's words. Look, I've never run for public office. By the way, pubic office, it says. No, I've never run for public office. I'm a good dad. And
Yeah, qualified. Qualified.
And have never declared bankruptcy. What? Who says that? Why does he say that? Is that on his mind?
That's his. I know.
Is that on his mind?
That's his idea of a Trump joke.
Okay, all right.
I'm telling you, I know his mind.
That's a great point. Absolutely. Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's not a joke. It's because it's not funny because anybody that gets it, by the time you get it,
you're right.
You've left the room.
And by the way, people like John saying bad things about Trump got Trump elected.
Jesus.
I'm college educated. From the prestigious NYU.
From the formerly prestigious. Fuck.
I love John, but if he didn't stutter, he'd be working at a gas station in Massapequa.
Wow, that's great.
I cut my hair. I have a goatee. I've never declared bankruptcy like some people we know.
And I trim my toenails. Hey, I
piss in a jar. I ask people for money.
Fuck John. I just thought of my.
That should be hashtag vote John. Fuck John.
January 28th. I just realized I'm at the Prince Theater in Philadelphia. Do you love Philadelphia?
Listen, it's the best stern market on the planet. Best stern market on the planet, and I'm scared of them.
I fucking love working there. So.
Okay, Jack, I'll give you this. The first time I played a theater after the Stern Show, it was the Electric Factory in and I don't think I ever told you, it's in Philly. The top, they look down on you like the gladiator days from an upper deck.
Right.
I tell a joke, punchline, laughter. As the laughter died down, this incredible drunk kid with a fucking Eagles jersey and a red face went, "You fat fuck!" And that got bigger laughs than I did, so I let him do it. I want to get a check. I want to get out of here. 30 straight minutes. I tell a joke, laughter, "You fat fuck!" He's got a fucking Molson bottle he's holding with his pinky. He's got a girl who looks like him right next to him, his girlfriend. She's clapping him up. 30 minutes in, I tell a joke, punchline, laughter dies. "No, you fat fuck." He didn't say it. was like he missed rehearsal. I look up. There's the girlfriend holding his Molson. She goes, he went to the fucking bathroom. That's Philadelphia. Yeah. And I said, honey, could you say it? She said it the next 2 times. You fat fuck. That's Philly. I love Philly. And they love you.
And I love doing this, man.
Yeah.
You know, so many people are going to tweet, oh, they talked about Howard. They talked about, oh, fuck them. It's so interesting.
Guys, if you worked, okay, let me put it in perspective. If you worked in the same cubicle at some shit company with a guy for 3 years, and a guy who you always knew to be one way was now another way, maybe you talk about it for a little while at the barbecue.
Yeah.
That's me and Jack.
It comes up.
We were both, we're the only 2 people who had a job in show business. That's on the biggest radio show of all time. There's 2 people there. And I got news for you. It's only going to be 2. You ain't going to see Shuley in that chair. You understand? There's going to be one guy who's going to be a senator. That's not us.
But there is no chair anymore, right? The way the show is.
It sits there.
Can't be, you know.
I think Marcy Turk sits there.
Oh, God.
Guys, he's being led around by a broad.
I'll tell you my new joke. So the teacher says, 3rd grade class, Johnny, what do you want to do when you grow up? He says, I want to have a lot of money. I want to have all kinds of stuff, and I want to have my own plane and get a whore and travel around. And teacher's like, oh, boy. She says, Mary, what do you want to do? She says, I want to be Johnny's whore.
And, of course, we all do.
We all do.
I want to be Trump's whore.
Wow.
Pence. What are you going to get political? You seem disgusted about Trump. Are you anti-Trump?
I'm so just I tell everybody the same boring story. At some point, a year or two, at whatever point in space and time, the thought went through my mind. Wait a minute.
Right.
You're not going to tell me that fucking Donald Trump is going to be in the Republican debates.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the big time.
Absolutely.
And ever since it's been. And then at some point, I was really scared. And then all of a sudden, Hillary jumped to 10 points in front, and I was like, all right, we don't have to worry. And then fucking Comey and the whole thing.
See, that's when I worry.
And all of a sudden,
when Hillary jumped up,
well, you know,
she's a gangster.
You know,
he was ripping off plumbing contractors. She was ripping off the world.
But whatever's going on, I don't think she was going to make a phone call that was going to start World War III. Yeah. And I really think he is.
Well, it's going to be a tweet. World War tweet.
Listen, wait a minute. The president-elect of the United States is tweeting, Alec, you weren't funny. That's the fucking president.
I know. I know. Part of me hates it. Part of me loves it.
The superintendent of my high school shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, but listen, he's not black.
And the entire country's laughing at fucking Baldwin's impression, and Trump's saying it's not funny. It's very sad.
Well, listen, he's got to defend himself. The guy fights, man. You want that guy on your side in a fight. He doesn't flip-flop. He doesn't do what we were saying. He's not a flapjack.
He steals.
Well, listen, they all steal. Politicians all steal, man. At least he's giving up the salary.
You know,
and his slogan was the slogan that Jeff Sessions wanted was a little odd. He said, let's make the president the same color as his house again. Some of the cabinet guys are a little, I don't know.
I didn't say step on the blacks. I said step on the backs.
The Secret Service said during the first snowstorm, Obama is the easiest president to protect in a snowstorm.
You know, the country got so bad that I read that they were going to, when Obama did a speech, they were going to have him stand behind a 2-inch thick piece of glass. Did you hear that?
No.
Which I think is stupid, just because he's black, I don't think he's going to shoot anybody.
Okay, you ready? You know what? I don't know if he wants me to tell this joke, but remember George Bush, someone threw a shoe at him? Mm-hmm. He goes, I would never, some Republican guy goes, I would never throw a shoe at Obama unless it needed shining.
Now, see.
And with that.
As a joke teller, I will tell you, that is so offensive. But it's a good joke.
It's funny.
It's a crafted
Well, the guy who told me he's one of the best joke writers of all time.
Jesus.
But I'm benefiting from that because a lot of liberals in show business write these great jokes that I'll use, but they won't.
And they don't dare.
Jack, I love you.
I love you, dude.
And remember this. I have a serious agenda in California. I see too many people who want to work, but are denied being in the workforce. He's not credit. Credit report.
Hey, when is this? Fuck, John. When is this going to air? Do you have any idea?
In about 10 minutes.
Tomorrow. It'll be up tomorrow.
Oh, really? All right. So Wednesday, I'm at the Parks Casino. I thought this was a come
Jack, why don't you just, when we get off there, just go up there and just rattle off the block?
No.
It's not live.
People, people wouldn't recognize me unless I slug my shit.
I love you.
Hey, I love doing this, man.
Great.
I'm coming back.
I got some blood work back. I won't be alive in 2 weeks. Just come here and host it.
I'll take care of it. Dan, thank you.
You got it, buddy. Thanks.